Hello friends, in today's video, I will tell you a heartfelt story. It happened on a lonely mountain road where suddenly a large freezer truck was found. The truck's engine was still running, but what was inside would make you shiver. The local people were stunned with fear. And when the police opened the truck, what was seen there was not a normal accident, but a mystery behind which lay a terrifying truth. Why was this truck abandoned on the mountain road? Who was behind it? And what was actually inside the truck? You will find all the answers to these questions at the very end of the video, so don't skip a single second of it. And if you are new to the channel, give it a like and subscribe now. And click the bell icon. And from which area are you watching this video? Comment below. Let's start. Friends, the sun had not yet fully risen. A light mist hung over the winding roads of the Tanzam Mountains in Baluchistan, Pakistan. The prolonged horn of a truck had drowned out the call to prayer from a distant village. That sound suddenly stopped for a refrigerated truck standing unusually by the roadside. The engine was roaring, emitting a cold blast of air, but the driver's seat was empty. Minibus driver Rashid Ali noticed it first. After honking 3 long times and getting no response, he got down. The mist was chillingly cold. Yet sweat beaded on Rashid's forehead. He shouted, "Hey brother, why are you stopping in the middle of the road? Get up." No answer. He pulled the door, and it opened. There was no one in the cabin. On the dashboard, a drop of coffee had dried to a gray stain. There were extinguished cigarette butts in the ashtray and an empty water bottle lying under the seat. No keys, no driver's bag, no papers. Rashid went to the back of the truck. A brand new, shiny gate lock hung on the thick iron door. Just below, reddish, thick liquid was dripping onto the asphalt. The edges of the liquid were dark on the dusty road, and the smell was sharp like blood and chemicals. Rashid's heart pounded. "This isn't right," he muttered. By then, several trucks and private cars were stuck on the mountain road. Curious people gathered. Some said it was spoiled beef, others speculated it might be fish cargo. Rashid lost patience. He stepped onto the side step, where there was a narrow gap in the body panels. What he saw when he peeked through made his knees tremble. Inside, rows of white sacks were not neatly arranged. Instead, some sacks were piled up. A large hole was visible in a wet, dark sack. From inside the hole, a greasy, pale, tissue-like substance was pushing out. Rashid's throat dried. "Ya Allah!" Immediately, shouts filled the area. Someone took out a mobile phone and called the police. Within half an hour, SHO Inspector Saeed of Tanzim Post arrived and cordoned the area. Barricades were set up on both sides with yellow tape stretched across. In the mountain chill, a sharp, metallic, rotting odor permeated the air. The iron smell of blood mingled with the strong chemical scent of formalin. The forensic unit arrived from Quetta, a mobile lab van, its blue lights flashing. Dr. Samina Qureshi, slender, with a shield over her eyes and a steady voice, instructed, "Pressure suits, double gloves, take area vacuum samples before cutting the door." With the roar of a metal cutter, the gate lock broke. As the door was slightly pushed open, a blast of icy cold air carrying a direct chemical odor rushed out. Everyone nearby instinctively took 2 steps back. Inside were indeed 45 white sacks. The bottom row was half submerged in reddish water. Melting ice chunks had created a slippery slush. As a knife sliced open one sack, layers of congealed tissue, fat, and many small bone fragments emerged from within the plastic. Dr. Samina clenched her jaw. Human tissue! The cutting pattern is very clean, dissection along the joint lines. This is the work of a professional. Inspector Saeed took a breath. "Not a local murder gang." Dr. Samina shook her head. "Local gangs don't have this kind of preservation, dry ice, or preservative mixtures. This is processed." Constable Bilal picked up a piece of paper stuck to the bottom of a sack from the mud. It was half wet, half torn. Under UV light, a faded logo gleamed. Typed in Arabic Persian style, it read, "Raymond Hospital, Karachi," with half of a serial code beneath it. Dr. Samina said slowly, "Hospital morgue or pathology tag. This kind of labeling usually doesn't come without a supply chain. On one side of the road, media had gathered. The SHO ordered, "No one goes live. Blur footage if you take any." Yet the whispers didn't stop. Why a hospital's name? Who would take it where? An hour later, ASP Faisal Malik arrived amidst the crinkled sunlight of the mountains. A dedicated officer from Quetta Range, in his 30s. He walked straight to the truck, and what he saw inside made his eyelids twitch. Establish a chain of custody. Each sack is separate evidence. Numbering, photography, loading, everything will go into a live vlog. The road is closed for 2 hours. Faisal searched the cabin. Nothing in the club box. A narrow drawer hidden under the seat was discovered. Inside was a partial service manifesto, a blank letterhead from a company called Pack Cool Logistics. No receiver's name. Only a handwritten route, Quetta Bypass, Sucker, Karachi Port. Next to it, a question. Midnight dock? At that moment, the mountain wind cleared the mist. In the distance, the sky was a glass-like blue. Yet people's hearts felt heavy. As P. Faisal said slowly, "This is not just dumping, it's a planned movement. The destination is the port." The forensic team was collecting the reddish liquid from the drain under the truck. Chemist Jawad said, "There are preservative traces mixed with formalin. Dry ice was also used. The cooling failed when the power was cut, hence the leakage." Before the truck was moved, Faisal looked around. A shopkeeper stood under the awning of a shop on the mountainside, just staring, his hand on his forehead, his lips muttering prayers. Faisal approached Rashid Ali and said softly, "Brother, if you hadn't stopped, the road would have been completely blocked, and then perhaps this thing would have gone far away. You showed courage." Rashid, his voice trembling, said, "Sir, what I saw inside, when I close my eyes, I see human parts." The police cordon on both sides was very tight. Each sack was given a separate number, from 1 to 45. Each one went into a sealed box. ASP Faisal, in an autolog, instructed, "Truck to Forensic Lab Quetta, route clear, no media other than official briefing." Amidst the camp-like activity, Faisal noticed that the name Rahman Hospital on the wet label had become ingrained in everyone's minds like a question. This Karachi hospital is prominent in the city's private sector. It is funded by an influential owner named Vijay Das. He is a major logistics and healthcare businessman in the city. Publicly, he has a charitable image, but there are whispers in the market about his shell companies. Faisal mentally noted the name, but he said nothing aloud. No words without proof. As the sun rose higher, the mountain air grew warmer, yet a chilling cold lingered around the truck. Dr. Samina told the ASP, "Primary observation, joint-oriented cuts, clean surgical edges, mixed tissue, skeletal muscle, organ fragments. No biohazard marks on the containers. This indicates an intentional attempt to shift it like ordinary cargo." ASP Faisal nodded. "That's what we suspect too. It's been commoditized." A couple of clouds descended to wash the mountain path. Standing under the police van's canopy, Faisal reported to headquarters on the phone. "Sir, high-profile case, possible hospital link, logistics route Karachi Port. Request, digital forensics, CCTV pull, tool data, and Unalima be activated." The brief reply from the other end was, "There will be pressure. Be careful." By noon, traffic was slowly rerouted. The police convoy moved along the mountain's edge. In front was the ASP's Jeep, behind it a cold chain van. Then a procession of media vehicles. Standing at Tanzim Chowk, Rashid Ali sighed deeply. He felt that the solitude of this mountain had opened a door today. Not just a truck's door, but the door to a dark corner of the market. Inside the forensic van, Dr. Samina was arranging sample bottles and boxes. One contained a thin plastic immersed in reddish liquid. The tag on the bottle read, "Fragment Rahman Hospital Karachi, partial." She said in a low voice, "If this truly came from there, then the source hospital, the carrier logistics, and the destination port are all three rings working together." ASP Faisal, sitting in the passenger seat, was listening to everything. The mist-soaked mountains, the 45 numbered sacks inside the truck, and a half word on a wet label. All of it was forming a pattern in his mind. He closed his eyes and whispered, "This is not an accident. It's a business. And this business is being conducted under the guise of white coats." Just before dusk, the convoy entered the smooth highway towards Quetta. The red light of the setting sun reflected off the truck's white body, gleaming like blood. The people standing by the guardrail, watching the dust rise, had the same question in their eyes. Where were these human bodies going like this? To whom? And why? Upon reaching the Quetta Forensic Lab, all samples were handed over after being signed on the chain of custody form. ASP Faisal returned to his office and wrote 3 words on a whiteboard. Source: Rahman Hospital. Carrier: Pack Cool Logistics. Destination: Karachi Port. Below it, another name in small, quiet letters: Vijay Das. He placed the marker pen on the table and looked out the window. The evening call to prayer was echoing across the city. Hayya ala al-Salah. Within that melody, he decided that from tomorrow, people would be deployed in Karachi. Toll plazas, feeder highways, CCTV, petrol pump cameras, everything would be scoured. A truck had stopped in the Tanzim Mountains, but the market where that truck was destined to be a commodity was still operating. Rashid Ali sat down for dinner but couldn't swallow his rice. Whenever he closed his eyes, a pale image floated through the gap in the white sacks. His wife whispered Surah al-Ikhlas in his ear. Rashid suddenly stood up, looked at the sky outside the window, and said, "Allah, if what I saw is true, then you judge those who do this work." Meanwhile, SP Faisal, sitting at his desk, closed the file under the lamp's light and saw the image again. The word caught his eye. Rahman, a name of mercy, yet in its shadow, what terrifying trade. He picked up his pen. On the last line he wrote, "First Light Hospital, Second Light Logistics, Third Light Port." Catching these 3 lights would reveal the face of the shadow. Then he turned off the light. The city fell silent, but the engine of the investigation truly roared to life at that moment. Faisal gave the last instruction on the radio. "Lock the chain of custody. Evidence will speak, not names. Upload all tonight's footage to off-grid sync immediately." As the train lights slowly faded in the port sky, a notification flashed on Mahanur's screen. RKKI launched date to shipment control updated approved by board chairman Vijay Das. Mahanur whispered, "Sir, direct signature." Faisal closed his eyes for a moment. Then, in a calm voice, he said, "The third part will require a confession. Tonight's evidence will open that door." The overnight operation ended. The smell of formalin and salty sweat still lingered in the port air. SP Faisal Malik sat in his car. There were signs of fatigue under his eyes, but his gaze had the steel of determination. The night raid had led to the arrest of Vijay Das, an influential Karachi businessman and owner of Rahman Hospital. 3 refrigerated containers had been recovered from his logistics warehouse. Each contained human organs. As soon as it was 6 in the morning, the media caught the wind of the story and the atmosphere became heated. Every television channel in the city was reporting that an influential name was behind the human organ trafficking ring. But no one was yet publicly naming names because many big personalities were associated with it. Ministers, doctors, and some police officers were also involved. Faisal was typing his office report. Assistant Mahanur Rahat said, "Sir, the press phones won't stop ringing. They want to know if Rahman Hospital has any connection with the government." Faisal paused and said, "We are still in the investigation stage, but the evidence is as clear as it is terrifying." Just then, there was a knock on the door. General Iqbal, a senior officer, entered. His face held suppressed anger, his eyes concern. "Faisal, what you are doing is dangerous for the country's image. If you bring up the name of a Hindu businessman in the media, religious tension will spread across the country." Faisal said calmly, "Sir, crime is the main issue, not religion. If a Muslim had done it, I would have arrested him too." Iqbal stared silently for a while. Then he said, "Your career will be at risk. Act wisely." That afternoon, the forensic report arrived. Dr. Samina placed the paper on Faisal's desk. "The evidence is completely clear, Faisal.
All the cut tissues are human, from at least 47 victims. Most are from the poor working class whose families haven't even filed missing person reports. Most bodies are missing kidneys, livers, and lungs. Faisal placed his hand on the table, clenching his fist. So this hospital is actually a slaughterhouse. Allah, how low can people stoop? Meanwhile, Harris Khan, who had installed cameras in the hospital's basement, received new footage on his phone. It showed that after midnight, the hospital director, Dr. Farhan Siddiqui, was on a video call with a foreign man. The language was a mix of English and Hindi. Mr. Ravi, shipment ready, will go on the next flight via Dubai route. Profit will go to your account as per Vijay's instructions. This record was the first proof of an international connection. Faisal, after reviewing the report, said, "So this is not just a Karachi case, it's a whole chain. Dubai, Singapore, Europe. Meat is going everywhere." That very night, Vijay Das was interrogated. In the cold room, Vijay's face, sitting across the table, still showed traces of arrogance. Faisal said calmly, "Commissioner Seb, I am a businessman. I have many enemies. All this is being fabricated to frame me." Faisal lowered his voice. "Then who are the money transfers to? How did your signature appear on Sanjay's sports account in Dubai?"